Hey everyone, in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 phases to becoming a top producer. Now, we have a video that we refer to agents all the time called the Life Insurance Telesales Growth Ladder. And that video is to grow from producer to agency owner to IMO and the skill sets you need to develop along the way to get there. Now, this video is different. This is about just focusing on becoming a top producer and the 3 phases to that. The thing here is being a top producer isn't about having some secret formula. We're not going to be the ones that are going to give you like the magic bullet that's going to magically make your business, excel overnight. And there's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of vanity metrics out there. There's a lot of people promoting programs, talking about people who are doing incredibly well. We all have that. We all have success stories, right? But it comes down to you as an agent. And that's what I want to talk through today because guys, there isn't a secret formula anywhere, right? Nobody has the perfect script. It doesn't exist. Everybody's different, right? You need to navigate every phone call differently, okay? There's not this golden lead out there. Yeah, we have these great TV calls where people call you from a TV commercial. They're the highest quality lead out there, but they're not the best for every single agent out there. Some agents will do better on a Facebook lead or a missed TV call or something else out there, okay? There isn't a golden lead. There's nothing out there, okay? That's going to solve all your problems, right? It's about like becoming a top producer. It's actually much simpler than anything, okay? So I'm going to explain these 3 phases that most agents find themselves in this business and how to break through from phase 1 to 2 to 3, okay? Now, we've seen a lot of breakthroughs in this business, and we've seen a lot of people who have failed out in this business. The ones that do break through, they have one thing in common, okay? They show up every single day, no matter what. It doesn't matter if they had a bad sales day yesterday, or they had a bad sales week, or a bad sales couple weeks. They show up every single day, and they show up consistently. And I'm going to talk through that because it's harder than it looks. It really is. There's, those who have broken through, we've seen them start in phase 1 here. And I bet the majority of you watching this video are in phase 1. Okay. So phase 1 is haphazard sales efforts. You're inconsistent in your activity. Okay. This is where you don't get initial traction like you thought you would. You get into this business, you join an agency, and you see all these people doing well, and you get in and you stall, okay? And you start and stop taking leads. You may start with a batch of leads, but then, okay, you reevaluate, and then you stop, and you lose any sort of momentum and any sort of just building upon what you're learning, okay? And you're letting your emotions and your feelings dictate your business. Now, you're questioning things, right? Things that are out of your control. And it transforms into inconsistent sales efforts, right? And I believe it's the result of agents that are just skeptical. Maybe they have a weak mindset. Maybe they just don't believe in themselves, okay? Top producers, they believe in themselves more than anything else. They believe in themselves more than they believe in the system that they're in, okay? And look, you're likely alone most of the day in your home office, right? And you let your thoughts get the best of you. And this is where most agents sit in the business and why they fail out, right? You have distractions and you have other things that you can be doing. And you have social media over here. You have laundry over there. You have your kids doing something over there, right? There's all these things. And you have nobody to kind of snap you back into being productive. That's why call centers do so well, because it's structured. You show up, you have people overseeing you, and you get things done, right? So guys, this business is all on you. Nobody else but yourself, okay? And you get these thoughts kind of swirling in your head. And once you realize there is no perfect lead, okay, that there is no perfect sales script, right? We can train you on the best sales process, but you need to be able to interact and adjust and adapt on every single phone call on where it takes you. You can't just read a script and expect to make a sale. That doesn't exist out there. Okay. There is no perfect system. You have to put your efforts in there, and you need to put consistent efforts in there, because right now most agents are inconsistent in their sales efforts. They have haphazard sales efforts. And this is phase one in the business. This is where most agents are. Okay. And you can let go of all those imperfections, right? The perfect sales script, the perfect system, the perfect lead. Everybody's expecting things to be perfect, right? It's not perfect. This is an imperfect business. And once you come to terms with that and realize that you can't control the things that are out of your control, because a lot of you think you can, right? And you realize that this is an imperfect business. You're going to have people hang up on you. You're going to drop calls. You're going to get bogus leads. You're going to get chargebacks. You're not going to close everybody. Somebody who may be a laydown might have gone and bought from somebody else instead of you. Okay. This is an imperfect business, but what you can control is your activity. Okay. Your sales efforts. And once you have consistent sales efforts, and that all comes down to understanding this is an imperfect business, and everything that goes wrong, all those frustrations that you have no control of, if you just keep pushing through with consistent sales efforts, that's when you get to phase two. And that's where agents start to shine. Okay. You can sit there and bitch and moan about whatever it is that upset you because you didn't make a sale or because you wasted money on a lead. Okay. That's all part of the business. Every single agent, the veteran agents out there, experience the same thing. The thing is, they have consistent sales efforts that smooth all of that over. All right. So that's phase two. You get you have this consistent sales effort, and that's where you see top producers start to rise. Okay. This is where you accept that this business is imperfect. Crap happens, right? But you show up every single day. And that's the thing you get hung up on. It doesn't matter. It's part of this imperfect business, right? You get a bogus lead. It doesn't matter. It's part of this imperfect business. Your leads aren't coming in quick enough. Okay? Doesn't matter. It's part of this imperfect business. You get a chargeback. It doesn't matter. It's part of this imperfect business. You keep going. Okay? And it takes that sort of mindset and, to really become a top producing agent. And that's what many agents are missing. They're stuck in phase one. Okay. So you're in phase two, you realize this is an imperfect business and not everything's going to be the way that you want it to be. And that's where you realize that these imperfections don't matter in the grand scheme of things, because your consistent sales efforts smooth all of it over. And you realize that the more consistent your sales efforts are, the less variance of sales and income that you have. Okay, you begin to realize that with consistent sales efforts, this business becomes more predictable, right? And once you realize that, and you have this predictive sales machine, this predictive income, right? That you show up every single day in the seat. If you're taking leads, you're taking your 20 internet leads a day, or your 8 inbound calls per day, whatever that number is to you, but you do it day in and day out, no matter what happens. And you realize you're going to get hung up on. Something's going to happen. There's going to be things that are out of your control, but you consistently keep moving. That's what top producers are doing. That's what they figure out, that they realize that this is an imperfect business and you have to push through it. And all it takes is consistent sales efforts. That's phase two of a top producer. They go from haphazard sales to consistent sales efforts. Okay. And then they move into phase three. Okay. So phase three is optimized sales efforts. Okay. This is where you have this baseline profitability. You have this knowledge that if you do certain actions every single day, that it's going to result in X amount of business and X amount of income. And you're doing that consistently. And you have this confidence. You are, you've really built a business here. And you realize that little hinges swing big doors. One of my mentors taught me that phrase about 8 or 9 years ago. I was paying him a coach, and little hinges swing big doors is what he would always tell me. Small changes in your business over time can result in very big improvements in profitability and sales. Okay. So you work on your weaknesses in the business. Okay. You're consistent, but now you work on your weaknesses. You look at your numbers, you say, okay, my sales percentages is, it could be a little bit higher looking at everybody else here. Okay. Yeah, I can up that and that can increase my profitability. Maybe it's your placement rates and you need to work on your button up, securing the sale, connecting with people, building the emotional piece of it. A lot of people, they'll make a lot of sales. You'll see them on, leaderboards across the industry, but what are they actually placing? Okay. We've seen agents skyrocket to the top of the leaderboards in sales, but what are they actually placing on that? You look through your objection handling, your post-sale follow-up, getting referrals, active listening, tonality, things like that you just improve on. Okay. You optimize your consistent sales efforts. That's where top producers are just getting more profitable by the month. Okay. And when you just combine those two, consistent sales efforts and optimizing your sales efforts, that's where you really begin to excel and you begin to make a lot of money. Net in your pocket. Okay. So the problem is most agents, they're stuck in phase one, haphazard sales efforts, right? And it's not because they can't sell. Okay. Most of you guys that are stuck in I bet 90% of the agents watching this are stuck in phase one, haphazard sales efforts. And guys, it's not because you can't sell. Don't put that in your head. It's just because you can't push past the imperfections in this business. And the mental barriers, they just start building up. You've built up these walls, these calls are dropping, or, this lead's too expensive, or, nobody's picking up the phone, whatever it is. Okay. And so you get this negative mindset, right? Because these imperfections are setting in and it stops your consistency. It stops your sales efforts and you get in your head. And that is where most agents just fail out of the business in phase one with their haphazard sales efforts. Okay. So if that's you, and I know it's the majority of you, just know that the only thing you can control in this business is the effort you give to this business. All right. All the top agents, they experience exactly what you're experiencing today. Don't think that anybody else is experiencing anything different than you are. Okay. They push past that. They see this business as imperfect. They deal with those issues and they know that all of that is smoothed out with consistent sales efforts. That's all it takes. Okay, guys. And the key word here is efforts. This is all on your genuine efforts. Okay. So if I can relay one bit of advice to take from all of this, okay, it's don't try to be the best at the cost of doing it consistently. Don't try to be the best at the cost of doing it consistently. Be consistent. Break out of phase one with consistency. Okay? Realize this is an imperfect business. Okay? Every business is an imperfect business. No business has the best lead, the best script. There's all these things that make up any sales related business out there. And you have to just push past that. Okay? So your sales efforts will smooth over any of these imperfections, any of your weaknesses in this business. So guys, in other words, start taking the leads, do it consistently, then do it better. All right. Because in sales, it's not the most skilled who succeed. It's those who give the most consistent effort over time. Those are the top producers you see in this business. And you'll continue to see in the leaderboards every single month because they do this consistently and they realize this. All right. I hope this helps some of you. And guys, if you are getting value from these videos, please like, subscribe, do all that stuff so that we know that, hey, this is helpful for you. All right. And we'll keep doing these videos. Thanks.